17. Naomi and Jimmy Uso. Naomi and Jimmy Uso used to be one of WWE's premier couples and, who knows, perhaps they will be again. Jimmy and his brother Jay have been SmackDown Tag Team Champions for over a year and have held the Raw Championship for a few months as well, while Naomi too has held a Tag Team Championship, along with her former partner Sasha Banks. According to E! Naomi and Jimmy, shoot names Trinity and Jonathan Fatu, started dating back in 2009 when both were newly signed to WWE, and they finally married in 2014. Jimmy was the one who wanted to marry sooner, while Naomi wanted to wait until she was well and truly established in the business. While it may have been awkward for Jimmy when Naomi was at odds with Vince McMahon back in May, he nevertheless stood by his wife. As Sportskeeda reports, an Instagram story he posted a few days after the incident made it clear that he was 100% on her side. Whether or not she ever returns to WWE, it seems the two of them are good. 18. Natalya Neidhart and Tyson Kidd. Natalya, also known as the Queen of Hearts, was pretty much predestined to become a wrestler, and it was a foregone conclusion that she'd marry one as well. It is, after all, the Hart family business, so she spent her entire life around wrestlers. In fact, as the Sportster points out, she met her husband Tyson Kidd when she was just 12, and he was 14, and started training in the Hart family dungeon. Kind of young, but then, Natty herself was likely in training as an infant, while the two may have originally had more of a brother-sister type of relationship. By the time Natalya was 19 and Kidd was 21, they'd moved on to dating. Once both were signed to WWE, they would work as a trio called the Hart Dynasty, along with her cousin David Hart-Smith. While Kidd and Neidhart were living as a married couple, they never actually went through the whole wedding ceremony with the white dress, tux, and rings until 2013. The reason they finally wed was kind of a goofy one. It seems Total Divas wanted to cover the wedding. So they basically did it for the ratings like true sports entertainers. While Kidd had to retire from the ring after a serious injury suffered in 2015, he's still working for WWE as producer. Natty, of course, is still wrestling and, as this point is the last Hart left. 19. Nikki Cross and Big Damo. Nikki Cross comes from Glasgow, Scotland, and Big Damo Killian Dane in WWE hails from Belfast, Northern Ireland, and as Sportskeeda relates, they initially got together when wrestling on the UK's indie circuit. The two initially kept their relationship under wraps when they came up to NXT, as Damo told Wrestling Inc. "We actually didn't tell WWE we were dating because we didn't want it to be a reason why one of us would get signed or the other one would get signed." Even when word got out, they went on to form part of the successful Sanity faction. By the time they married in 2019, however, Cross was on the main roster while Damo, following a short SmackDown stint, was back in NXT. In 2021, Damo was let go from WWE, while Nikki had to start playing the wannabe superhero Nikki Ash. Damo was supportive of her new gimmick, telling WrestleTalk, "I'm like, hey Nikki, you're the sugar mama now, so you need to do well here." All kidding aside, he brought up the fact that in order to attract a young audience, wrestling needs to add fun stuff, like Nikki's new character. As of late, however, Nikki's dropped the ASH and adopted a harder edge, while Damo, as per Cage Match, is wrestling anywhere and everywhere. As he told Cultaholic Wrestling, though, he wouldn't rule out a WWE return if asked, especially if it meant a chance for Sanity to get back together again. 20. Sable and Brock Lesnar. Sable made her in-ring debut on the grandest stage of all, acting as valet to Triple H at WrestleMania 12. She didn't attend the game for long though, but eventually she did start wrestling in her own right. She left WWE in 1999 and came back for a brief run in the early 0000s, but has been pretty much retired since that time. Instead, her full-time job these days seems to be being Mrs. Brock Lesnar. The two married in 2006 via WrestleZone, at which time she was 38 and he a decade younger. Sportskeeda adds that they now have two sons together, one born in 2009 and the other in 2010. Lesnar also has two children from a prior relationship as well. While the Beast incarnate may be a man of many talents, one thing he's awful at is making romantic gestures. As he recalled on ESPN highly questionable, aged essentially sports, he once tricked his wife into thinking one of the kids had swallowed her wedding ring. And he didn't even come clean, so to speak, when she resorted to going through the dirty diapers to see if the ring had come out again. It was supposed to be a setup for getting her a new ring, but it probably didn't play out quite as he'd imagined. Amazingly enough, the couple are still together, but for Sable's sake we hope her childish groom has grown up a bit since that prank. 21. Sarah Logan and Eric. As the Triple H era of WWE has been kicking off, there have been quite a few wrestlers returning to the company that showed them the door not so long ago. One is Sarah Logan, who is now teaming up with her real-life husband, Eric of the Viking Raiders, real name Raymond Rowe. Logan and Rowe started dating back when they were both still working the indie circuit, and Sportskeeda notes that she was the breakout start of the couple, signed to WWE's main roster while her boyfriend was still in NXT. They were apparently engaged for a few years, but didn't get around to actually marrying until 2018. The couple's wedding ceremony, as can be seen in photos of the event, was a Viking-themed one. Eric Raymond tweeted out a shot of the newlyweds in costume, while Liv Morgan shared one with all 3 Riot Squad members. Her pink hair, hipster beanie, and granny glasses, however, along with Ruby's semi-shaved head, were more than a little anachronistic. While Morgan and Ruby now Soho are unlikely to dress up like that again, we're looking forward to seeing Logan donning more Viking apparel on SmackDown. 22. Scarlett Bordeaux and Karrion Kross. Scarlett Bordeaux and Karrion Kross, unlike some other under-the-radar wrestling couples, have long been paired together on screen. They got together back when both were working for Impact Wrestling in 2018, according to the Sportster, and both of them made the move to NXT together in 2020. They were briefly separated when Kross made it to the main roster in 2021, while Scarlett stayed in NXT, but within a few months both of them would get their walking papers. The couple were engaged by that time, so they, like their fellow exiled NXT mates Mia Yim and Keith Lee, would put their downtime to good use by getting married. As per Inside the Ropes, the wedding took place in April of 2022. It must have been a very small ceremony, as they took a helicopter to a remote Alaskan location to exchange vows in the freezing cold, apparently a popular, if pricey, wedding package, but they no doubt saved a fortune on the reception. According to a video Kross posted to his YouTube channel, Scarlett kept her game face on even when forced to stand out on a glacier wearing a strapless dress. While the couple kept busy working the indies after the wedding, with Scarlett making a few bucks on OnlyFans as well, they've been able to work together again since Triple H called them back to WWE in August. 23. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H. While Stephanie McMahon and Hunter Hart Helmsley come in close to the bottom of this list for strictly alphabetical reasons, there's no doubt they're pro wrestling's first couple. Stephanie, after all, is the heiress to the dynasty that built WWE from the ground up, while Triple H is leading the promotion into a new era. While the two of them seem poised to conquer the world together, they didn't have an easy time of it when their relationship first began. They started dating in 2000s, but Us Magazine says that Stephanie's dad didn't want her getting involved with a wrestler, so he soon ordered them to split up. While they did so at first, they soon worked up the courage to defy Vince, or at least sneak around behind his back. Finally he gave in, and not only let them date, but even permitted them to marry in October of 2003. There are now 3 Levesque daughters, that being the game's shoot last name, and according to Stephanie's Instagram, the 3 have even been known to paint daddy's toenails. Bet they wouldn't dare try that with Grandpa though. After nearly 20 years of marriage, Triple H and Stephanie have truly been together through thick and thin. From his serious illness and retirement to her leave of absence, and then the abrupt return to WWE necessitated by Vince's legal troubles. No matter what comes next though, it's clear they've got each other's backs, now and always. 24. Tay Melo and Sammy Guevara. From the ultimate power couple to the ultimate cringe couple. The latter being Tay and Sammy, of course. Just what makes them two AEW's most hated twosome? Where to begin? The arrogance, the smug smiles, and far too much PDA. Plus, AEW fans have yet to forget how Guevara went down on one knee to propose to his girlfriend during a very special AEW Dynamite back in 2021, via Metro by T. Wasn't Melo to whom he popped the question though, but his now ex-girlfriend Pam Nizio, who'd been with him back when he was poor and unknown. Kind of the ultimate heel move, to propose to your longtime girlfriend, then dump her as soon as someone hotter and more famous comes along. According to Tay Melo though, Pam's totally cool with the fact that Sammy started dating someone new a hot minute after the two broke up. Mello swears they didn't get together before the split. She also claims that the three of them are now all friends. Sammy and his new squeeze did actually tie the knot in September of 2022, as he posted on his Instagram, and, well, at least they do appear to be a pretty well-matched pair for what that's worth. 25. Zelina Vega and Malachi Black. While some couples on this list seem like they're perfectly matched, there are other pairings where the initial reaction is more like, what, seriously? Perhaps the best example of this is that of WWE star Zelina Vega, also known as Queen Zelina, and Malachi Black of AEW. Sportskeeda says the two began dating when they were in NXT, but apparently they kept it under wraps pretty well. Actually, this was deliberate because Vega was acting as valet to Andrade when he was feuding with Black. As Vega recalled in an appearance on Chasing Glory with Lillian Garcia, when she told Triple H she was getting married, he assumed that she'd be marrying Andrade, who, as you'll recall, is now Mr. Charlotte Flair. Black and Vega have been married since 2018, but they haven't worked together since Black was released from WWE in 2021, and subsequently signed with AEW. Leave of absence in September 2022, prompting Dave Meltzer to speculate that he was angling for a return to WWE via TJR Wrestling. Black, however, soon squashed those rumors and has since returned. He and Vega are already thinking long-term. WrestleTalk reports that they're building a performance center in Florida, so they can start training next-general wrestlers.